Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, and welcome to Body and Soul Awareness with Stephanie and Oxana. Here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hope you had a great week. Want to just say Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, and we'll get back to that topic in a minute. Want to go over the homework from last week first.
Yes.
So we don't forget that. It's really important because we are still in the middle of Mercury retrograde.
Yes, it's been still on, and there was a lot of things actually kind of happening last week in regard to Mercury retrograde. Well, the first thing that I noticed in my life is when you were running this show last Sunday with your guest, and it was a very, very interesting and informative show. I was trying to log in as a guest to listen through on live, and it took me literally probably 10 minutes for it to start. I missed probably first 10 minutes.
You know, that's so funny.
I know. But at the same time, when I was trying to log in into live, I went into the studio as well. So I was able to kind of start listening while I was trying to play with the phone and everything. So it just couldn't log in, like it couldn't start. So I was a little bit bummed, but I knew it was
technology.
It was Mercury. So I'm like, okay, I know there's archive.
Exactly.
That's a good advertisement for it. There is archive.
There's always archive.
If you are today with your mother and celebrating, her beautiful care and love, you can always listen to our archive.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to us now. We can just talk to each other.
Which is always fun.
Yes, it is fine. We do that anyway.
No, well, it's funny that was your problem because when I actually called in last week to go live, I had a few technical issues, and it's funny because when I went to upload the audio onto YouTube, I actually left the few glitches in there, and I wrote a note because, of course, we're in Mercury retrograde, and that was the homework. So I was like, you know what? Usually I would edit out the bad stuff so you don't have to hear it, at least on the YouTube archive. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave it this time because it's kind of indicative of what's going on right now and technological communication issues.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, so that was
That's interesting. Yeah.
That was the issue that I had. I haven't really had too many other issues, but I try not to contact as many people as possible anyway, so that way you don't have
exactly. You eliminate
errors.
You eliminate.
I know. It's not that I'm cheating Mercury retrograde. I really don't think that's what I'm doing. I just feel like I'm not making extra undue communication that I don't need to make.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, and I think it works if, it's going nicely. If it's nicely flowing, then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not complaining over here.
Well, I actually have had more. So, and Mercury is actually my sign.
Okay.
So my planet.
How does that mean that Mercury affects you?
It affects me
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, that's what it means. It's definitely going to be affecting me.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
No. So for me, I was trying to wire money overseas, and actually to my mom. And it took me 3 times to do that. It just wouldn't go through. I was receiving those emails saying, oops, sorry, we don't have a reason. It's got to be Mercury in retrograde, but your money is not going through. Please try it again. So I've done it on the phone, I've done it online, and then I eventually went to the store.
Fun.
And did it in person, which I was trying to avoid to begin with.
Right, exactly.
Oh, my God. So that's...
The technology is convenient when it works.
Yes, and when it doesn't, it creates issues. It creates disappointment.
Right.
And that's, our expectations are so high nowadays.
Exactly.
That we cannot ever fulfill them. That's the game, I guess. More, right? Until you realize there's no need for it.
Exactly.
So anyway, and then at work I had a couple of issues. On Monday, there were issues with emails. I didn't receive certain emails that went sent out, and then one person sent an email to my previous work. So she's like, but I sent it to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. She's like, well, I think I sent it to your previous address. So, and she checked it, and that's what it was. And I just smiled. I'm like, oh, Mercury. So it was my great excuse for all the issues with technology, and it was kind of easy, and that's what we do in life. We just blame somebody.
I know. Right, like, I almost feel like I need to get a dog so I can be like, oh, Mercury.
I know. Right. Listen, that's
like, whose
actual...
fault is it?
Oh,
Mercury ate my homework.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The cat ate my homework. It slept on it, It went to the bathroom on it. Sorry.
Whatever it does, right?
Oh. And then I remember, I think on Tuesday, yes, I had issues with the phone at work. They just completely went bananas. They were off. Nobody could use them.
Good. You didn't have to talk to anybody.
No, I was happy, and I'm like, hey, Mercury.
Good job, Mercury.
I'm like, I'm going to go get breakfast. And I did. So it's good because, and I mean, it's another thing. And, of course, what else I've noticed in not in my personal life, but directly with my friends, I've been exposed to them kind of acting on something that occurred in their life a little bit differently, meaning they're going through a change. So, and that's shift, and that's what Mercury in retrograde does, is it pushes certain things to open up into the open and resolve, or it's in a good way, like in a bad way in a sense. You're going to have to go through that uncomfortable time. Right. And it actually did happen to me, but much sooner. But at the end, it's beautiful. Because
so is it really bad? Or is it just an experience that's uncomfortable to get you to ultimately where you need to be?
And how they say, to get to the good, you typically go through the rough time.
Right.
And that's what Mercury does. It pushes you into that point. Like you kind of, if you are there but not stepping in, it pushes you there. Something happens, and you see it clearly.
Right.
And that's when the growth starts. You're like, oh, I see it. So that's what it does. And so, in a sense, it's a good thing. And I've seen that happening with a few people in my life around me. They're going through something like that. So it's interesting. Yeah. And for me, it's mainly the technology, but it's it's simple. It's not a big deal. You can go around it. Just relax. It teaches you more patience.
Well, right, and even if it is a big deal, like say it's something major, like gets screwed up or thrown off because of something communication or technology related, and Mercury throws in its ugly hands and says, you know what, it's not going to go that way, right? So what? Is there anything you could have done about it?
Exactly.
Can you fix it? Just let it go.
I don't know how much you do have control, really. I don't really have, you do. Yeah. I don't think so. And to add to the Mercury, since we are on this topic is, and there are 5 planets involved doing that for a short time. So a lot of areas of your life are being kind of pushed around. Right. Yeah. So, depending where you're kind of, let's call it challenge, a little more challenge than in others' lives. Like everyone has their own little different challenges. So that area probably would be pushed more than the other that doesn't, like relationships, Venus. If Venus is part of it, then if you're fine and happy, then that would be probably fine. It's going to maybe even more flower during that time because it's getting pushed. But you have challenges with work, you know, a creative part of your life. You don't know what you want to do, or like you cannot give, you know, you can create a child, for example, you know, on the topic of Mother's Day. Maybe that's kind of your challenge. So maybe those kind of shakes up happen. So it's in a sense, it's a good time. It just pushes you, and that's why people don't like it. It has a bad rep. That's what they say.
It really
doesn't
matter if you like it or not. It's happening. So
yeah, and in a sense, it's kind of like it's pushing the evolution. That's what it's doing. The planets are positioned themselves where it's like it needed to push things out faster.
Right.
You know, maybe that's what it is about. I don't know those exact details, but I've always thought it's fascinating to think about planets and know all this stuff because we're all connected on a much bigger level. Speaking of a Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've experienced through the past week. It really hasn't affected me because I've been mindful of the Mercury in retrograde. So it's, you know, the most thing that annoyed me is, of course, the not getting on the show on time. It kind of did. And then the next one was the money. So, yeah.
Great.
But, so, yeah, that's the homework we've had. And so now we can go into the Mother's Day. And I want to start this radio show with a quick wish to my mom and tell her how much I appreciate what she has done since the beginning of my life, or even right before. It was quite a few 9 months, I'm sure. I don't know what kind of child I was when I was in her womb, but I sensed I was, I had a very strong connection with her, as I do now still. Our intuition, works pretty strong. So, дорогая мамуля, я хочу тебя поздравить с Днем мамы от всей души и сказать и поблагодарить тебя от всего сердца за все, что ты сделала с самого начала моей жизни. И я знаю, что ты вкладываешь всю свою любовь и заботу и мысли в мою жизнь и жизнь моей сестры. И поэтому я хочу поблагодарить за твое полное внимание, любовь и отдачу. Я тебя очень люблю. И поздравляю с этим днем, хоть и ты всегда в моей душе и сердце. Я тебя очень люблю. So that was beautiful.
Yeah, I have no idea what you just said, but it did sound very beautiful. And since I don't speak Russian, please just do me a favor and tell your mom, I love you and happy Mother's Day.
Стефани тебя любит, и она желает тебе хорошего дня мамы.
And kisses.
And много поцелуев, конечно. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's definitely I mean the connection, definitely motherly connection is strong, and as you know, since you're a mother and you are doing it almost for the first time because you're doing it quite differently this time.
It's a totally different experience this time, yes. And the connection is very interesting because you have this whole other being that totally needs you to continue existing, really, because without you, can't eat, can't take care of itself, can't do anything, especially early on.
It's a mind-blowing thought.
Yeah, it's
me.
A little scary.
It is.
It's amazing. It's interesting. It's definitely mind-blowing. And it's changing. It's life-changing. And it's funny because I found this article, and it's called A Mom's Job Description.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to read it because it, I think, perfectly kind of embodies what it's like to be a mom. Let's see. Position, mother, mom, mama. Job description, long-term team players needed for challenging permanent work in an often chaotic environment. Candidates must possess excellent communication and organizational skills and be willing to work variable hours, which will include evenings and weekends and frequent 24-hour shifts on call. Some overnight travel will be required, including trips to primitive camping sites on rainy weekends and endless sports tournaments in faraway cities. Travel expenses not reimbursed. Extensive courier duties also required. Responsibilities. The rest of your life, you must be willing to be hated at least temporarily until someone needs $5. Must be willing to bite tongue repeatedly. Also must possess the physical stamina of a pack mule to be able to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat in case, this time, the scream of the backyard are not someone just crying wolf. Must be willing to face stimulating technical challenges such as small gadget repair, mysteriously sluggish toilets, and stuck zippers. Must screen phone calls, maintain calendars, coordinate production of multiple homework projects. Must have ability to plan and organize social gatherings for clients of all ages and mental outlooks. Must be willing to be indispensable 1 minute and embarrassment the next. Must handle assembly and product safety testing of 500,000 cheap plastic toys and battery-operated devices. Luckily, this go-round, we only have 2 of those so far. I'm trying to get Dad to stop buying them.
How many jobs are those?
I know. Oh, we're not done.
My God.
Must hope for the best but be prepared for the worst. Must assume final, complete accountability for the quality of the end product. Responsibilities also include floor maintenance and janitorial work throughout the facility. Possibility for advancement and promotion, virtually none. Your job is to remain in the same position for years without complaining, constantly retraining and updating your skills so that those in your charge can ultimately surpass you. Previous experience, none required, unfortunately. On-the-job training offered on a continually exhausting basis. Wages and compensation. Get this, you pay them, offering frequent raises and bonuses. A balloon payment is due when they turn 18 because of the assumption that college will help them become financially independent. When you die, you give them whatever is left. The oddest thing about this reverse salary scheme is that you actually enjoy it and wish you could do more.
I know.
Right?
I
Benefit.
know.
Well, no health or dental insurance, no pension, no tuition reimbursement, no paid holidays, no stock options are offered. This job supplies limitless opportunities for personal growth, free hugs for life if you play your cards right.
Well, it's almost like it's giving us a glimpse of unconditional, I don't want to call it love because, but yes, unconditional love. It's almost giving us that example. We're forced to experience that example.
That's not love. I don't know what love is.
Well, I mean, it's.
I have been pooped on and thrown up on and scratched and eaten off of for the past 8 months. And with the 15-year-old, I totally related to one of the things that it said, where it said that you must be indispensable 1 minute and an embarrassment the next.
Right.
So, yeah, we're totally going through all different stages of mommying right now. It's kind of interesting.
Right. I bet it's an interesting experience.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's exhausting. It's beautiful.
It's everything. That's kind of like it's
so
everything in one.
Wrapped up in, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gross cleaning poop.
And you're actually hitting a very, very interesting point where it is almost like you are experiencing opposite at the same time.
Yeah.
This undescribable, I guess, strong energy we call love. This connection that you can't explain because literally the child comes out of you.
Right.
And at the same time, at once you're like, oh my God, I'm ready to because I want to sleep.
Yeah.
So because he's tiring you down, but at the same time he's giving you love.
Right.
It's like, it's this.
Well, it's funny. I was reading this article, and said that right after birth, like immediately, like after the baby's all the way out, you're still attached via the cord, but the baby's out. You've done your pushing and your hard work. Well, you still have to get the placenta out, but you've done the crux of the work.
He's out.
There's a moment where you're not a mom. For one moment, you are an accomplished woman that accomplished an amazing feat. And then you have a second to breathe, and then you get the baby, and there you go. Mommyhood has started. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, too, because I was reading another article that was talking about the hormones that are created that actually help you create a bond with your child, that it's not just an automatic thing if you don't have, like, these certain hormones imbalanced. And I'm not going to go into them because I really don't recall exactly what it was, but it did say that if your hormones are imbalanced, that's when you create a really good bond with your child. So
it's you know, in those instances where there is no connection, and we always kind of tend to wonder, you know, how is it the child comes out of you and the woman doesn't have a connection? You know, maybe that's, you know, one of the reasons.
Oh, no, yeah.
Hormonal, some sort of disbalance.
Well,
right?
Yeah, what's it called? I can't think of what it's called. When you're depressed after you have the baby.
Post syndrome. Yeah, I cannot recall what the. I know,
it's
like
kind of like post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Something like that. Yes, it's yes, when mothers really.
Postpartum stress disorder is what it's called. Sorry. So that's an actual real thing. It's because your hormones are just going crazy in your body, and trying to balance them is really, really difficult because you can't sleep and you can't even barely think in the beginning, because you literally have, like, for the first few months, you literally have like a few hours in between, or a few hours of sleep, maybe 2 to 3, and then they have to get up and they have to eat again. And especially if you're breastfeeding and not giving them the bottle, it's 100% up to you. Like Kai, he's had 3 bottles in his life, so every other time that he's fed, it's been me doing
he
it.
eats.
So, yeah, and he
eats. That little one eats, and you can tell he can eat.
Oh yeah.
Oh
when
my.
you hear him eat, it's like he's never eaten before. Like he's so starving.
Yeah, it's like every time he eats, it's for the first time ever he had ever eaten. That's what it looks like.
But it's an amazing, I think, example of like connection and how to connect with your child, especially from day one breastfeeding, because you're literally continuing to provide nourishment outside of the womb. So for 9 months, you nourish them inside, and then they call the first, I think like the first few months after birth is called like the 4th trimester, where you're still connected, and you do that through nursing. Now, not saying that if you don't nurse, you're not going to have a connection with your child, but it is one of those things that's really, really good for connection.
Well, just it makes absolute sense.
It's the hormones.
Right.
So when the in the baby's mouth, there's certain hormones. So when he actually latches on, that's what gets your milk flowing and going. Outside of the fact that it's really, really good for them, like as far as health is concerned, they're going to have a higher IQ. They're gonna have a better established gut bacteria because you're giving them everything that they need through that breast milk. So.
Yeah.
I know I was going to tangents about.
No, I mean you have to put it that way, because sometimes, I mean, from my perception, because I've had number of girlfriends who've gone through pregnancy and birth and everything. And, a lot of times it seems like, yes, you do think of yourself in a sense, oh, my God, I cannot do that, or I cannot do that, or that's going to hurt me, or, But from my perspective, just kind of observing, you got to see the bigger picture.
Right.
It's like you can't just concentrate, oh, this is going to hurt me. You got to have to see, okay, one, why is it hurting me to, what are the ways to make it different? What do I need to eat, or what do I need to look at to address that, weakness in my body, or where is it coming from? And then see, the child, my God.
Well, I think that now it's so kind of ingrained in our psyches, especially in the Western world, that formula is the way that you're supposed to do it, right? Because, you only have 6 more weeks before you have to get back to work. So if you do breastfeed, it only needs to be for the first 6 weeks. And then you need to hurry up and get back to work so you can take care of your boss, right? Because as a mom, you don't just take care of the baby. You take care of what other kids you have, of course. You take care of your household. You take care of your significant other. He needs to be babied. Then you have to go to work, and you have to baby your boss and your coworkers, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So many things as a mom you have to take care of.
The list continues for a woman. That's why, when we say Mother's Day, it's probably mothers for all women.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm speaking the facts.
Let's say Women's Day.
Well, because if you go in there, you're babysitting everyone. You're mothering everyone.
Exactly.
Well, because, and that's why we are women, I guess. It's one of our energetical characteristics.
Whatever. We're women because we can handle it and they can't.
Well, yeah, there is some truth to that, absolutely,
I know.
There is even in our structure. But anyway, so, it's, like you said, it is rewarding, and how it's amazing how it comes with pain and love at the same time. So you're totally experiencing all these different opposite feelings at the same time. So your experience is full.
Exactly.
You're not only going through pleasant time or displeasant time, you're going through both at the same time. So it's like this crazy, probably.
Definitely a roller coaster of emotion. It's funny because the best way that I can describe that roller coaster is I had a very good friend watching the baby, so I knew the baby was safe. She has 5 kids. She knows how to take care of kids. He was going to be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was literally only going to the store, which is 3 minutes away. So I get in the car, and I'm like, this is great. I got to the car. I didn't have any extra bags. I didn't have to put the baby in the car seat. I didn't have to get him dressed to get out of the house, nothing. So it was great, right? So I'm getting in the car, and I'm driving down the road, and I had my iPod on, and it played a song. It was the Dixie Chicks Lullaby, the one that I played last week after the show.
Yeah, I remember.
And that is, of course, that's Kai's song. I love it. It always reminds me of him. So I heard the song came on, and I started bawling. Mind you, I literally had just left the house. I was like, I hope he's okay. I know nothing's going to happen to him, but what if he needs me? What if he gets hungry? What if it was all of these emotions? And I was like, okay, chill out. It's really going to be okay. You're going to be home in a minute. But it's amazing. That moment, I realized how closely tied your emotions are to your hormones. So a simple hormonal imbalance can throw you off a lot. That's why, you cry when you're on your period.
Right.
Or women that are pregnant are really emotional. That's because hormones are just
and so it's kind of
important to balance them. And
Well, and so exactly. So, and during pregnancy, for example, or even as a mom, you can do probably. For a fact, I know you can do things that will help you to balance yourself on every level. And that will come with. It can come with food that you eat and certain little exercises you do, maybe even meditate. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do as a mom.
Yes, it's hard being a mom, and yes, there's a lot of stuff to do, but we want you to remember that you're not just a mom. You are also a person, too, and you have to take care of yourself. And we're going to come back in a few minutes after the commercial break and give you some tips, different things that you can do to kind of incorporate into your routine just to help you feel better.
Yeah.
Because moms need it and deserve it. And everybody does. But I think especially moms, and especially because it's Mother's Day. All right, everybody, we will be back shortly from commercial.
This is Mercy. If you're listening to this message, warriors, you are the resistance. Warriors, you are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We are at the brink. Read about it in The Sovereign, newspaper of the resistance. Available now at newsstands everywhere. The Sovereign is a monthly 24-page tabloid newspaper featuring incendiary content about life during wartime in the age of Obama. Warriors, keep to date every month. Remember to read The Sovereign, newspaper of the resistance. Available at newsstands everywhere. This alert is for all you boppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action. This is Mercy. If you're listening to this message, warriors, you are the resistance. This is Mercy. Mine will be the last voice you will ever hear. Don't be alarmed.
How would you like to make your work more enjoyable, be more creative and relaxed, all while sitting at your desk? That's exactly what my Serenity Rug has done for me. This revolutionary footrest, I can't even call it a footrest, because this thing encourages movement of your feet, which results in more blood flow. While traditional footrests advocate the motionless placement of your feet, I found that I'm unconsciously digging my feet into the long, soft grass strands of the Serenity Rug. It delivers an incredibly relaxing sensation that closely resembles the feeling of an exotic foot massage. If you have ever had a foot massage that made you want to stay there for hours, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not heard about the Serenity Rug, check them out at serenityrug.com and join the exclusive Serenity Rug community and enjoy a feeling of comfort and relaxation that most will never experience. They've sold out before, so I suggest you do your feet a favor and grab one of these. Again, that's serenityrug.com.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had some cows, E-I-E-I-O, with a hormone here and a hormone there, here a moan, there a moan, everywhere a hormone. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he sprayed some crops, E-I-E-I-O. With some GMOs here and a pesticide there. Here spray, there spray, everywhere spray, spray. A small cage here and a tight cage there. Here a moan, there a moan, everywhere spray, spray. Old MacDonald had a New MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm the animals roamed. E-I-E-I-O. With a pasture here and some open space there. Here they roam, there they roam, and never any hormones. New MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O, and that farm was chemical-free, with no GMOs, with colored soil here and organic crops there, toxic pesticides can say goodbye, no more toxins in our lives. New MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Go right now to YouTube. Search on New MacDonald. Watch this video all the way through. You will be surprised. What a great job. What a great message. And then please share this video with others. An important message from our new generation.
Okay, everybody, we're back on the air. Thanks, as usual, for listening to our sponsors.
Yes, please call us log in into freedomizerradio.com into the chat and chat with us, and also call in as a guest at the number 347-324-3704.
Yeah, and just remember, if you do want to talk to us live, just hit the number 1, and then we'll know that you're in queue to talk to us and you're not just listening.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, so let's get right into different tips for mommies on how to kind of pamper yourself, take care of yourself, and just love the new woman that you are now that you're a mom, you know. And I thought the best way to do that was to go through the stages of mommyhood, because I think it definitely starts when you're pregnant, that you have to pamper yourself and take care of yourself. And it's a good way to kind of start a trend going forward for you to do things for yourself. Because, you know, I'm going to be totally honest, there's not a lot of time to do things for yourself. You're not going to really have a lot of energy to do things for yourself. You're going to be really busy being a mom. It's definitely a job in and of itself. And a fulfilling job, rewarding job, however a job.
It's almost like it's pushing you to even love yourself more if you are if you're in a state of understanding that, right? And that's where we step in right now.
Exactly.
And kind of putting either a seed in your mind, or maybe reminding you, or maybe just helping along your journey that you already understood for yourself, that you are, you know, a mother, but you are still in a position where it's important for you to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
You cannot be fully giving something you don't have. Like, you have to be healthy in your own self.
I think that's a really good point, because it's something that as a mom, like, I always tended to forget. Like, okay, so you get up, you get the baby ready, you get yourself ready, you go to work, you work all day long, you come home, you cook dinner, you make sure the baby's bathed, you do all of these kind of repetitive task chores that need to be done. I'm not saying don't bathe the baby. I'm not saying don't go to work. I'm not saying don't bathe yourself. But I am saying that somewhere in there you have to make time for you to be you. And I don't mean the you that's a mother, and I don't mean the you that's a wife or a significant other. I don't mean the you that you are when you're with your friends. Well, actually, sometimes that's a good way to get out. But I mean really spending time with you, who you are.
Right, yeah.
So, all right, so I'm going to just get right into the tips. So the first stage would be pregnancy, right? So it's so funny because this day last year, I was in Hawaii, sitting on the beach.
Beautiful.
Drinking a fresh coconut.
Hold on. Let me give me more minutes to imagine.
More details.
Give me time to put me into that picture. I need to be there.
You know, it was so beautiful, and this time I decided to go to Kauai. Well, because I was, how far along was I? I was about 5 months pregnant at the time, and
which is a safe time to travel, right?
Exactly. I wasn't too big. I wasn't nauseous from the first trimester, and I wasn't too big from the third trimester. The second trimester is the perfect time to go on what I call a baby moon. Well, actually, other people call it that too. But anyway, so what a baby moon is it can be either you by yourself or you with your significant other. It was me by myself this time because I really wanted to take time to reflect on the changes that were coming, because I had done it before. I had my first son when I was 21, 15 years ago. But I knew what was coming, so I really wanted to give myself time to reflect, enjoy myself, be me, relax. So I did that. I went to visit one of my girlfriends in California for a few days, and then I got on a plane and I went to Hawaii. And in ode to that trip, tonight me and Oxana are drinking fresh coconut.
Yes, to celebrate that day, or even the time in the beginning of your new chapter.
Oh, yeah.
New life, I mean, I guess depends how you look at it. New you, new role, etc. We'll go into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it is something of a new experience.
It's definitely an
that
experience.
Is changing you within.
It is.
You know, and a very powerful one. So let's
Yes.
celebrate that today.
Cheers.
Cheers. With coconut. It's beautiful.
But yeah, so that's my first
beautiful.
tip.
I love this tip. I so very much love this
Go
tip.
on,
I think
baby
it's an
moon.
amazing idea to get yourself easy into all the process and yes, reflect.
Yeah.
And get connected even more with you.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful.
But do be conscious of the fact that if you're nauseous, you want to be careful and not go to a luau because it smells pretty gross with the pig cooking underground.
Ooh.
I had to leave the luau because of that, but it's okay. So, all right. So, another thing that you want to do when you're pregnant, I think that's really important, especially when you get like more into the third trimester, is make sure that you're moving because as you get bigger when you're pregnant, you tend to not want to move so much. You feel like literally I felt like a beached whale. And it's funny because going into the beginning of the third trimester, I felt like a beached whale. I was like, there's no way I can get any bigger than this. And then you get like 10 pounds bigger by the end. It's crazy.
Like, wow, I did something.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy because this time I didn't even really get that big. It was how I felt. Like I felt.
Well, and it's all
like
about that. Yeah, you have
extra fluid going through your body. You have like 50% more blood rushing through you. So anyway,
yeah, a lot going on.
I say that to say, even though you don't want to move, you want to move. Now, it's simple, easy movement, but you want to make sure that you're not just sitting there.
No,
that way,
like, and plus, you are getting bigger. You are putting more pressure on your bones.
Definitely.
So you need all of the rotations and opening up. And,
exactly.
And simply
stretching. Now, you want to be careful.
Yeah.
Make sure that you consult your doctor and consult my medical disclaimer on my website, www.edensbalance.com/medical-disclaimer. Before you take any of my advice, definitely make sure you read that, do your own research, talk to your doctor if you must, all that good stuff. But one of my favorite things for the end of pregnancy, which is really good for helping the pain in your hips, because you're gonna have a lot of tension in your hips because obviously you have the pressure from the weight of the baby, everything's stretching and moving. So the balance ball was one of my favorite things toward the end of my pregnancy.
I love that ball.
I mean,
for me, I love it.
Yeah, you do
for your back.
movements. Exactly. It's great for your back, your hips, all your joints in there. So that is really good to do the ABCs because it helps your pelvis open up, and then that helps you have an easier labor and delivery.
Can you brush briefly on the ABC?
Yeah, so what you do, it sounds kind of weird, is imagine that you have a pencil coming straight out of your vagina. Sorry, I used the V word. And what you want to do is literally pretend there's a pencil coming out of it and write on the floor.
Ah, got it.
Top of the
so infinite sign.
Well, no, you A, B, you literally write the letters.
Got it.
Yeah, this was one of the awesome tips that I got from my doula, Amy.
So you're hitting every point.
Yeah, so literally what it does is it puts your body in every position or every hip position that it could possibly be in. So whatever way your hips start to move during the labor and delivery, your body's familiar with it. So if you do that every day, it'll definitely make a huge difference.
ABCs, ladies, ABCs. Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, and it definitely makes a big difference with
and it
how
makes
you feel.
Absolute sense.
You can move so much better. Just remember that any time that you're doing anything in the last trimester, that you have a hormone called relaxin in you that makes all of your tendons and joints and stuff like that relax. So you never want to overstretch. That's really important when you're pregnant too.
So carefully, I guess mindfully listening to your body.
Exactly.
And everything, it's not, sometimes it is better not to not. It's worse to overdo than not do enough.
Exactly.
You know, like just do it, but not too much.
Yeah.
With cautious and mindfulness.
Yeah. And then another tip I'd say for the third trimester, or you know what, like your entire pregnancy, is make sure that if you want to cheat, you cheat. Now, I'm not saying that you can have cake every single day of your pregnancy because that's not good for you.
Right.
But if you happen to be craving something, even though you know it's not great for you, you can have it occasionally. Just understand that it is not a treat, it's a cheat. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I think with all the hormones going around, that's a big thing. And then trying to make sure that you maintain a healthy weight. And I'm not saying you don't gain weight, because in pregnancy it's important to gain those 25 to 35 pounds, that you don't want to gain any more than that. But you do have to have extra weight on you.
Does it vary from woman to woman? What?
Well, the reason they give you a range, so it does vary. Between 25 and 35 pounds is optimal, and it's funny because I learned so much this pregnancy, but when I did research on it, I found out that the reason is because your body's going to come in contact with toxins.
Correct.
And if you don't have any fat in your body doesn't have anywhere to put those toxins. So that means that it has more of a chance to actually going to the placenta and then into the baby.
So
that's why it's important to have a certain amount of fat.
So the fat protects it. It keeps it.
Well, yeah. Because it holds the toxins. So you kind of keep the toxins in your fat cells. That's where they go. Like that's the cellulase that you see. Like,
that's the toxins.
Those are toxins just kind of like deposited, and it's your body's way of protecting you from those toxins. Because if all those toxins were like all throughout your body, then you have problems. But that's why you want to make sure that in pregnancy you do gain enough. But you don't want to gain too much either.
Okay.
Like I did the first time. I don't even know how many pounds I gained. It must have been like 60 or 70 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, but this time I gained 28 pounds.
Yeah, see.
I was very conscious of it though, and I was
absolutely. This time it was very different for you. Absolutely. Different mindset, different time.
It was. And I'm glad because going back to the moms and taking care of yourself, I was very conscious of taking care of myself during the process. So not only taking care of the baby, because obviously when you're healthy, you're taking very good care of your child, but it was really kind of making sure that I was mentally in a good place. I made sure that I was eating right, and I made sure that I moved as much as I could. Like, don't get me wrong, there were days where I laid and I didn't do anything. Remember the last few days at the beach, I couldn't do anything because it was so hot, and I was dizzy, and I was fat and miserable.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that wasn't the fun part. But it's okay. It's only a couple months.
Remember, you also, I remember you told me that you would listen to some meditations.
Yes, definitely. Hypnobabies was awesome. And it's, I don't know, it's something that you can use kind of throughout life after you use it for pregnancy and delivery. It kind of just helps you. Well, it teaches you what kind of the idea of meditation is. So if you have no idea what meditation is, it's a really good start. And it kind of just walks you through listening to your body and changing your mindset about the fear that's related to the delivery and the pregnancy, which was, for me, it was good. It was good for me. I think for somebody that doesn't meditate and somebody that didn't already have like kind of that mindset, it would have been a great asset for them to have.
Yeah.
I probably could have just done it on my own, honestly, because I was so in a good place with where I was, with the fact that I was going to do everything natural this time. I was super, super empowered. I had a network of people there to assist me, even though nobody was there. Because
How
because
ironic.
they couldn't make it in time.
Right. You
But
know, everything
it's
was
amazing,
kind of
and I really think my mindset, I think my diet, I think the fact that I moved, and I really made sure to take care of myself during the whole pregnancy, that it happened so simply. Like he came, and
you didn't even need anyone.
It's so funny because I remember his head coming out, and I'll never forget, I said, please, God, somebody help me. And it's funny because his dad thought that I meant I needed help, something was wrong. I, in my head, was really trying to get out, how am I going to catch this baby? I'm on all fours. Like, please, somebody catch the baby. That's what I was trying to say. But, of course, we go back to hormones and I'm going out.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were communicating like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Wow.
But, yeah, that was definitely a Mercury retrograde
Well, but
conversation.
see how your instinct, you were in pain right there, but your thinking was already targeted toward the baby.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to catch the baby? So it's, it's on. The connection is already on strong.
Definitely.
So you are in pain, but at the same time, you're thinking of the baby.
Yeah. And then another way to kind of connect to, I think, and relax yourself is when you're pregnant, literally go into a meditation, but not just by yourself. Go there with the baby and imagine the baby and imagine what the baby's going to look like, and just spend time kind of connecting before you even get a chance to connect. I mean, you are already connected, but
yes, in spirit, absolutely. You already have that connection. I mean, everything can be felt easily if you just tune in. So, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So those are, like, a couple of things to do before you even have the baby, before you even, I mean, you are a mom if you're pregnant, obviously, but a few things that you can do for yourself. So the next phase, kind of, is the newborn phase, which they call, like, the 4th trimester.
Toddlers. Newborn.
Not even toddlers.
Newborns.
This newborns.
Okay.
Toddlers are a whole other animal, and yes, I will call them animals because
hey, yes. Well, that's the primal stage. I mean, it's literally kind of.
Well, it really is. And remember, I was telling you that I read something that said, like, our life phases kind of go with your chakras. So you have, like, your root chakra. You have, like, 0 to 7, where you're learning, like, all of your worldly things and how to eat and how to be and how to
connect here.
Kind of,
you're connecting. You're learning
how to get along in this world. The way that it's set up.
Just the basic steps that you need to do to make in this life.
Exactly.
To be part of this life.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, and then it goes up from there, and they said, like, every 7 years, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So in the newborn time, this is probably the hardest time to get time for you.
Right.
For me, I didn't do it right. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of tips, and some of them I did, and some of them I didn't, but I'll be totally honest. Like, there were days I didn't even get a shower. I don't know, I might have brushed my teeth that day. Like, there's lots of days where I just go to sleep and have throw up still on my shirt. And literally, just because I was so tired, especially, like I said, because I'm breastfeeding, so every 2 to 3 hours, he wants to eat. Now, that changed when he turned about 5 months, but so if you can imagine, and I'm sure all you moms know that those first few months before they get a nice stretch in at night, it's just total, utter chaos to your reality. You're totally shaken. You can't even think straight because you just don't have enough sleep.
There's so much distraction going on,
and you're probably not eating enough and whatever.
Right.
So I know you're going to give us a few tips about meditating to kind of get your energy levels going.
Yes.
But then there's a few other things that you can do, from making sure that you're getting nutrient-dense food. So when you actually eat, when you do get a chance to eat, Make sure it's really good for you, nutrient-dense foods. And one of the best ways that I found to take care of myself as far as nutritionally is concerned was smoothies. The invent of smoothies totally saved my existence because there's not really a lot of chopping or anything like that I'm doing when I have the baby in my hands, right? So I would throw in avocados, I would throw in chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, spirulina, all of the different superfoods, exactly, bananas, different fruits, berries, fresh berries are great. And even if you do want them to be frozen so it's cold, get the fresh berries and throw them in the freezer. I had heard somewhere that certain berries actually get more nutrients when you freeze them, but do your own research on that.
I believe it's blueberries. I think it's blueberries. I do that to blueberries.
Yeah, so that's really super easy. You have literally like 2 dishes that you have to wash in the end, and you've gotten a nutrient-dense food in you. I think that's really important because I think I went a few days probably without even eating. Like the first week was pretty easy because everybody's there. Actually, the first 2 weeks were pretty easy. Everybody's there. Everybody's doting on you and the baby, and they're like,
helping you around.
Do you want this? And I remember like his dad made so much food, and he was constantly feeding me, and I was just like, go away.
I cannot eat.
I know. I just want to
At least I didn't have to worry about that,
I did, and it was so nice that I didn't have to think about that, and he kind of took care of everything, which was nice. But it's really important to make sure you have a good support system. Even if you don't have family, if the father isn't there, whatever, just make sure you have a really good support system. And usually having a female support system is better because they can understand you. They know what it's like.
You know your body more.
Exactly.
Emotions and everything.
Yeah. So, okay, so what were some other things to do? So when I did actually,
I mean, like during the beginning stage, you know, because like you're saying, there's literally everything goes bananas, like you cannot do anything. So I guess from that perspective, the mother can concentrate on the foods because you don't have time to do any exercises, think about anything.
No, actually for the first about 6 to 8 weeks, you don't want to do any exercises. What I will say, though, is you can't exercise. Like, you don't want to do anything that's going to, let me change that. 6 to 8 weeks if you have a vaginal delivery with no complications, right? If you have a cesarean section, you literally have an open wound. So those are totally different standards that I can't really talk about just because I've only had vaginal deliveries. But there is a 6 to 8 week waiting period where you really shouldn't do anything. However, just because you shouldn't be out there walking 3 miles and just because you shouldn't be sitting, like, lifting weights or whatever, it doesn't mean you can't rotate your wrists. It doesn't mean you can't do neck stretches. I know I'd be careful that you don't want to do any stretches that are going to affect your abdominal area, but you can rotate your ankles. You can do little things like take your fingers and you put them in between your toes and kind of stretch out your toes.
Stretching is
and that, and that'll help because your feet probably hurt because you were carrying all that extra weight for all that time. Yeah.
Well, or hire somebody who will massage your feet while you're laying there.
I like that idea. I think that should definitely be part of the insurance plan.
See, that's absolutely what should happen. Put it on the list.
Yes.
So okay, that's great. Yeah, and along with the small exercises, of course, very important is the foods. You know that we discussed the intake.
Well, and that's why I say if you eat something, make sure it has a nutritional value, and especially if you're breastfeeding, it's so important that you're eating really, really good nutrient-dense foods. You get most of the stuff you need from green leafy veggies. So you can throw those in your smoothie too. Actually, it's a really good idea to throw those in.
Well, because everything that you're eating goes to your child.
Exactly. And then you get whatever's left over, kind of just like the pregnancy.
Right, and that's why I guess you do want very good, healthy stuff, because whatever is left over, hopefully, is good enough to sustain you.
Yeah.
To continue.
And I think it's important to remember that you can very easily have mineral imbalances and deficiencies. And it's good to maybe take a supplement for that. I actually take something called Shilajit. It's from the Himalayan regions, and it's biomatter that's been in the mountains for billions of years, and it's super condensed, super compact. It has calcium and boron and magnesium and manganese.
Everything that you
It even has gold. It has and it's all really fine nanoparticles. So what you do is you put it in water. It's this resin, and you put it in water, and you drink it, and it gives you all of these nanoparticles which go directly into your system. They don't even have to be digested or anything. They just get in there.
Amazing.
And give you the boost of kind of what you need, which is cool considering even when you eat really good food, it doesn't necessarily have all the nutrients that you need in it. Minerals are so important. So, yeah. But anyways, it is time for another commercial break. So we are going to get to commercial, and we will be back for some more tips in the different stages of mommyhood.
U.S. trade negotiators are pushing to complete the TPP this year. They're trying to keep it under the radar. The best way to stop the TPP is to drag it into the light of day. Right now, negotiators have appointed approximately 600 corporate lobbyists to serve as cleared advisors on the TPP, while refusing to release any of their negotiating proposals for public review. The corporate media is unlikely to inform the public about the TPP. We need to do it ourselves.
Hi, everyone. This is the Rose Colombo. Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Justice Club on Freedomizer Radio. Grab a snack, grab a latte, grab a friend, or grab a stranger. I've been on the front lines for 25 years, and I've been labeled as Crusader for Equal Rights by the media many times. So join my crusade on the Justice Club at Freedomizer Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Are you sick of being a chump, lied to by politicians and businessmen alike, watching as the world slowly burns, as trillions of debts racked up under your grandchildren's names? Hi, I'm Ben Lucifer Bernanke Cochran. I'm asking that you tune into my weekly radio show, The Patriot Power Hour with Lucifer Bernanke, each Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern on Freedomizer Radio. Look, I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I just need your help fighting these banks of scum. The sycophants behind all the wars, failed healthcare system. They own all the mega banks, all the mega corporations. They own the media, of course. They've already conquered most of humanity, really. And their juiciest vile target, well, we're next. America's next. So I'm not going out without fighting. So join me Thursdays as I use my background in finance and risk management to decode breaking news and developments, all while helping to prepare you and your family for the future waves of financial terrorism that are sure to come. Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FreedomizerRadio.com.
The Soulfully Beautiful Show focuses on healing, getting over your past, and working on your future.
You should listen to the Soulfully Beautiful Show.
Did you guys know that there's no such state in the United States that requires shoes to be worn while driving a car? Did you also know that there was no such health code requiring shoes to be worn while going into a store or eating in a restaurant? And the thing is that most people think there are laws in relation to this, and this is about freedom. This is about your personal freedoms on what you choose to wear or not wear in this case. So Sierra Larson hosts the Barefoot is Legal show, where you can learn about health benefits, laws that don't exist, as well as more activism in relation to this. And most people in the U.S. are brainwashed. They think there's a requirement to wear shoes to do anything outside. So the whole United States wears flip-flops because they want to not wear shoes, but they think it's against the law. So Sierra Larson will teach you more on that. The show is on Saturdays, Barefoot is Legal Radio. That's 10:30 a.m. to noon Pacific. That's 1:30 to 3 Eastern. Only on Freedomizer Radio.
Got a spare tire around that waist? Is your muffin top over the top? Do you binge eat uncontrollably? We are the government, and we are here to help you. Here at our free FEMA weight loss camp, we have numerous ways to help you shed those unsightly, unwanted pounds. FEMA, or Fatties Eating Mitigated, automatically has a communist-style weight loss czar that specializes in centralized weight loss planning and communal extended fasting programs to shed that fat away in no time. Skin and boned means extra toned is the motto. Just remember, there is no way you can do it on your own. We will forcefully assist you into compliance. Failure is not an option in this utopian wonderland. How fantastic. Typical workout regimes include digging ditches and restocking them with dirt, building railways and more. Get life skills while you get lean. How do you join? Simple. Recite the Constitution in a public commons or violate the Patriot Act that includes simple misdemeanors. It's really that easy to get your own fenced-in slice of Americana. Stop being a fatty. The state is your daddy.
Hola amigos, it is I, Jose. My sister Maria and I, we were trapped in a terrible third world country where we were tortilla farmers. We put the seeds in the ground and the tortillas never grew, so we decided to come to America. So I got a hold of my friend Chayo at Chayo's Coyote Services. He brought us not only to this country, but he did not rape Maria not even once, and he even gave me a cup of cool water. So if you are trapped in a third world country, please come to Chayo's Coyote Services.
Okay, guys, we're back. So I want to get right into this because we don't have a lot of time left.
Time flies.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was talking about with having a newborn is you don't get any sleep, so you can barely think.
Mm-hmm.
And you have very, very little energy when you don't sleep because your body doesn't get a chance to kind of renew itself at night, which is why we sleep.
Right.
Anyways, it's totally doable because moms have been doing it forever.
Mm-hmm.
However, Oxana, you said you had found this meditation.
Because throughout my studies and practices, I've always I've heard that, and in fact, I've done it for myself as well. Not even being a mom, but just in situations where I don't have time, and in fact, in the morning, if I would wake up tired and I know I don't have time to sleep, and I've done it before in situations, I would sit in a quick 10-minute meditation, and it would give me energy.
Okay.
So, and I, of course, I don't know how it is in situations where you are a mother, how you can find those 10 minutes. But for example, your child will be waking up soon. I'm just giving an example. I don't know if it happens in reality. But if your child's waking up, you cannot sleep for 10 minutes. Maybe you could sit there and quiet and gain that balance, because when the balance is gained in the body, and of course I can go through a couple of steps where it affects your mind and everything. You start balancing, and you can work on your chakras as you sit there.
Right.
You balance your body, and you receive energy that way. It functions because your body functions better in a balanced, in a natural, harmonized, balanced state. It just functions better, and you need less sleep. So you will be operating on less sleep. If you can substitute, for example, 2 hours of sleep, or not just say, 1 hour sleep for 10 minutes meditation, something like that.
Right.
So that's, I think, could be beneficial if a woman mother can find a way to do that.
Yeah, to be totally honest, I find most of my meditation time is done in the bathroom because it's the only place that I have to be by myself.
Well, see, that you found a way, being creative.
And that works until the baby can walk. And then all they do is knock on the door.
Well, when they start walking, you can start putting signs.
Yeah, they don't listen. The 15-year-old doesn't listen.
Well, yeah. Well, he would require different, I guess, communication.
Yeah, pretty much.
Type.
Those are the times when you need to get in the car and drive.
So, yeah, and by adding, for example, by meditating, increasing your melatonin as well.
Okay.
You know, and you apparently need that, you know.
Melatonin is one of the happy chemicals.
Yeah. And it'll help you to sleep, I guess, better. I don't know. But that's what
it
pretty
does
much.
Help with rest.
It helps with rest. And you just, you know, your mind will be a little bit more still with meditation, and you won't be listening too much of the kind of the thought of the tiredness.
Right.
You know, of course it's going to be there, but you'll be just not as attached to it.
Right.
So you'll be more at peace with that, you know, balanced, and even though you'll be tired, but you won't be, I guess, exhausting even more energy on bullshit.
Well, yeah,
you know,
and you kind of go back to source energy as opposed to pulling energy from foods and other things. You pull it directly from the source, which is where you're supposed to get it from anyway.
And it's funny because, like, I, you know, in general in life, I go and I communicate with people. I go and I socialize here and there, but I always gain my energy in my space. Like, I don't tend to suck energy out of people, I guess. I tend to give more, in a sense, but try to remain mine, I guess. Because if you exchange it, then it's even and it's all good. But if one person gives a little more, then you are kind of exhausted. So I need that space. I need that time alone where I can gain. That's why I enjoy meditating, because I actually do gain stuff from it. You know, I detach from things I don't need to be attached to.
Right.
You know, it puts me in
and
a space.
Unfortunately, since we're moms, we kind of never get an unattachment time. So it's not that you're putting aside your mommy duties, and it's not that you're not taking care of the baby. It's that you're taking the time to take care of yourself, so when you do take care of the baby, you have good energy. Your baby's going to react to that energy, because the baby can feel energy, trust me. If you're having a bad day, if you're upset, if you're not feeling well, if you're low energy, your baby's going to feel it, and the baby will respond as such.
You know, we're going back to connections.
Exactly.
You know, energetical connection. So everything is felt.
Yeah, definitely.
From the mother.
Yeah.
So I would say this is one thing can be done. Of course, mothers typically clean, you know, dishes or do something when the child is asleep, but maybe you can find those 5 minutes before the child awakens. Of course, if you know that he will be awakening soon. I know it's challenging. I'm sure it's challenging. I don't know. But you have to be creative.
Right.
I mean,
that, and then I think another good way to kind of implement meditation into your daily routine is maybe even have the baby be part of it. I don't know if maybe the baby falls asleep in your arms, and at that moment you just kind of, I don't know about other moms, but I know that I literally feel like my baby melts into me when he's sleeping. It's like I can barely even feel him, because he's a part of me. And so if you do it from that place, you're already kind of in a place of meditation.
Some sort of trance,
And especially if you're breastfeeding, there's a chemical that's released that actually makes the baby a little bit more sleepy, and then because baby's releasing that chemical, you get more sleepy. So it's a really good time to kind of put you in a nice, neutral, relaxed place. You know the baby's safe because he's right there with you, and you can just go into a meditation and shoot. You might even get more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. It's a beautiful idea. It's beautiful. And you know what I also is you're already kind of passing a very beautiful kind of helpful habit of meditating, or knowing what it is, and having that practice part of your life is very beneficial. Of course, some people meditate very religiously, some people don't, but knowing that you can go to that, it's a source of it's a very important source, because it really teaches you about you, because you are away from all the craziness.
Yeah.
You go into you. I think it's a very helpful tip to anyone.
Yeah,
anyone really.
Everyone.
But mothers maybe can really incorporate that into their challenging times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, so one of the big things that I want to mention that's really, really important through all of these phases is to make sure that you're drinking enough water, because dehydration is such a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
It can cause headaches, fatigue, cause a lack of energy. So all you have to do literally is get a water bottle and keep it filled up.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend the glass water bottles just because it's not good to have stuff in plastic, but if you happen to have a plastic one, that's fine. As long as you're drinking enough water, it's really, really, really important that you do that. Now, I'll do a whole blog on the different types of water you should be drinking, because there's a lot of different information on that, but we don't have a lot of time tonight, so you want to drink a lot of water. Another thing is that you want to, whenever you do have the time to take a nice bath or shower, you want to make it conscious. You want to do like kind of this whole ritual that allows you to be in a different place and a different time than where you really are. So every time that I do this ritual, I pretend like I'm in the shower in Hawaii.
Nice.
And when I walk out, I'm going to be at the beach, right? So it gives you this like whole nice mindset. And I always go back to Hawaii because that's my happy place.
It's almost you are rejuvenating yourself in a shower.
Exactly.
With like a brilliant golden shower.
Right, a waterfall.
And flowers in your hair.
Exactly.
You just make yourself feel beautiful and sexy. And
yeah, you do, but there's a whole like conscious way to do that, right?
Absolutely.
So
in a loving
way. Look at it from a release standpoint. Like, okay, you had a crazy day, night. Who knows whether it's day or night when you're a new mom, because all the time starts running into each other. But anyways, so what you want to do is you want to imagine that with an exfoliator, you whether salt, sugar, you can mix it with an oil, you can add essential oils. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can make, or different ways to make them. But what you want to do with an exfoliator is you want to exfoliate in a counterclockwise direction. So what that's going to do is that's going to help you release all the old stuff.
Yes.
Counterclockwise. Yes. And remember to consciously do it in a counterclockwise direction, because that's kind of letting all the old stuff go.
Yeah, counterclock is pretty much works throughout everything. Everything kind of needs to be clockwise, right? Counterclockwise, right?
Yeah, so that's why so you do the scrub counterclockwise, and that releases everything. So while you're doing that, think about the things you want to release. Think about that feeling that you had where you wanted to like scream and jump off of a bridge, and release that and let it go. Right? You want to think about that time when you wanted to smack your 15-year-old in the face because he wasn't respecting you the way that you thought he should.
Throw that away.
Yeah, just like let that go.
Brush it off.
Right.
Brush it off with the
Your
scrub.
Significant other is driving you nuts. Release
do that
it.
too. Release.
Right.
Let it go.
Getting on your nerves, whatever it happens.
You're not in control of it. Let it go.
Exactly. So you want to do that, and then you rinse off. And when you rinse off, you're rinsing all of those things away. You're letting them go. You're not attaching to them. You're not letting them control you. And then you continue your shower, wash, however you do. And then when you get out of the shower, you want to have all your good intentions ready, and you want to apply your good intentions in a clockwise motion.
Nice.
And that way you're bringing those things to you. So with the counterclockwise motion, you were releasing the things,
okay.
the bad things, and
right.
with the clockwise motion, you're bringing in the things.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. Everything clockwise, that is, you are healing, bringing.
Exactly.
That kind of sphere, energetic.
So if you do that, it's so funny because I swear it seems like I'm in the shower for like 45 minutes when I know it's only 20. But it seems like time is just expanding because I'm in this beautiful place. And you know what? If the baby happens to be crying in the background and you turn on the fan and turn up the 80s music so you don't hear it for 5 minutes, as long as you know that they're perfectly okay,
right.
take your break. You need a few minutes. It's okay. You can take your break. Dad can take care of it even if he doesn't feel like
absolutely.
it. You know, an older sibling can take them for a few minutes. That's okay.
And we go
ask for help.
Right. And for example, you know, like we always say, community raise a child. You know, that's very important point where you do have that kind of support group where you can take that break, you know, here and there.
Which is good not only for you, it's good for the development of the child as well, because the child needs to see different people at different ages doing different things, because that's how children learn.
Right. So for you to be able to take that little break, have someone that you can trust, you know.
Exactly. Whether it be a friend, grandparent, whatever. Find a tribe. If you don't have a tribe, you need to start finding them. You need to attract them and get a good group of people that can help.
Support, yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help, because a lot of times I think we think as women we've been told forever that we need to do everything and everything needs to be a certain done. Exactly. Everything needs to be done a certain way, and we need to be doing this, right? Because we have to be a mom, we have to be a wife.
All kinds of roles.
We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to be like a janitor, we have to be a chauffeur, we have to be a nurse, we have to be everything, a psychologist, all of these different things.
And look good at the end.
I know, right?
Put out the whole thing.
And still be able to bend over in the end of it. Oh, man. But
so, yeah. Being a mom, huh?
Yeah, it's a crazy
to everyone.
thing. It's a crazy thing. So, that being said, if you have to take 5 minutes to walk away from your kid and be a quote-unquote bad mom, then take those 5 minutes.
Be it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Be a bad mom.
Make you a bad mom. It just makes
making you a better mom overall.
It just makes you a person that's tired of hearing a baby cry, and that's okay. Don't be tough on yourself. That's another thing.
Good point.
Yeah, but then so the last point that I want to get into, and then also that I think you can expound upon a little bit, Oxana, is moving. So once the baby's not a newborn anymore, once you've totally healed from your delivery, whether it been cesarean or vaginal delivery, you need to get moving. So important. It was killing me because after the baby was born, it was so cold outside, and I couldn't wait to get outside because I wanted to get him in the stroller. I wanted him to get outside so he could experience the colors and the smells, and so it's been beautiful, like going on walks. Unfortunately, the pollen's been really bad, and we live in the woods, so there's trees everywhere, so there's pollen everywhere, but I try to make sure that we do indoor things or go elsewhere where the pollen isn't quite so bad. But definitely moving is such an important thing, because I think if you don't move, you stay still and then you get stuck. Your body kind of gets stuck in place, like your joints and everything just kind of stops.
Well, and plus because you were kind of getting to that point throughout the pregnancy, even though if you're staying active still, there's still extra 30 pounds on you.
Oh, yeah.
And that is pressure throughout those months.
Oh, yeah.
On your bones, on your body. So, and, you know, and you've had a couple of probably good month or so at the end, after the pregnancy, after the birth.
Yeah, about a month and a half.
Yeah, not moving. So you're adding that to that. So you are kind of sitting on yourself for a while and with a little bit of extra weight.
Yeah.
So it's so important to start moving.
Yeah. Are there some stretches that you can recommend for moms?
Yes, you can simply. Well, what I could recommend slowly, you can start massaging, like even massaging your body throughout, especially like after shower we were just describing. Come out and like even not being a mother, I do that to me. But start massaging your. Of course, it's better if somebody else is doing it, but you know how life is. So you always have yourself next to you, right? So start massaging your feet and go up your leg and just massage throughout the leg. Do another one, just at least a little bit. Do the same thing with your arm and the other arm. Stretch your neck. Just do little stretches throughout your body. Awaken your body. Start awakening. Not just walking and picking up and doing all these little things that you do as, with newborn, but actually rotate your bones, Start rotating joints everywhere. If you're laying in bed, you can rotate your ankles or sit anywhere. You can rotate your ankles. So pretty much the idea is start kind of moving your bodies in slow movements. You don't have to jump around. You don't have to do any of that. Sitting in your bed, you can, put one hand on one side and just bring the other arm up and stretch your side. That's where you are affecting your meridian channels. Your energetical body is starting to breathe. So the sides can be stretched. The arms can be stretched out to one side and the other. So think of those terms. Nothing cardio, but awaken your body. Yeah. So that's a good one for kind of the stage where you can start slowly moving around besides just thinking of food and meditation.
Exactly.
So
wow.
That's
yeah.
We're kind of at the time already.
We're almost out of time. Sorry, I have a lot more tips. But so I think the most important thing is move when you can. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you're eating nutritious foods that are good for you. Also good for the baby and breastfeeding. So be conscious of that. There's a lot of things that you want to probably take out. But anyways, so make sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to the things you should be eating. Lots of raw fruits and vegetables are always important. Lots of water. Yeah, movement.
It almost seems like it's the small steps that really matter. Some women think, oh my God, I have to hire like a personal trainer or this and that or a nanny. And of course it does help. All of those things help. But the small steps that you make, the small changes you make throughout, or not even changes, implementing and going with them, adjusting. Those are important because small step creates a habit. It becomes your life.
You know what? That's a really good point, too. And because my pregnancy, this time, I literally let the weight just melt off in the first few months after the delivery because I was eating healthy. That's it. I didn't even have to exercise and move. I mean, I did small things, of course, that were approved, but I didn't really have to do anything, and the weight just comes off because if you eat properly, then you don't have extra weight.
Right. Well, see, body works.
Yeah,
so,
so homework.
That's, homework. We will go back to, how do you treat yourself?
Yeah.
So why don't our ladies who are listening treat themselves with a nice scrub, a nice shower, and just go through those, motions of releasing and bringing the new feelings and thoughts and energy. Just treat yourself. Just know, everything kind of depending on how you are with yourself. You are loving and treating yourself wonderfully, and it's going to go into your child. So find those couple of minutes to be good to yourself and don't be too harsh.
Because you deserve it, and you deserve it probably more than any other role on this planet.
Yeah, absolutely, because otherwise the life will not continue.
Exactly.
If the role of mother, because you know how we have a lot of roles,
right?
We have to play in this game, but the role of mother is probably one of the important because otherwise, we wouldn't be here without it.
It's not just birthing the child; it's taking care of the child. That's the thing, because if it wasn't for mom or someone there to take care of the child, humanity couldn't exist.
So salute.
So moms rock. So
salute to all mothers.
Yes.
Yes,
to all the moms.
And of course all the women and
wonderful women in my life who are mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes. The beautiful wishes and thoughts of love to our Gaia, the planet.
Yes.
That is our bigger mother. Of course, the bigger mother is behind the
original mother.
Yeah, the mother of this planet. Let's just put it, in those parameters. There's even bigger picture there, and
we'll get into that another show.
Exactly. But the whole feminine energy, we want to celebrate it, and it brings so much beauty to this earth, and let's just be beautiful, mothers.
Yes.
Let's take care of ourselves.
Remember, when you do your scrub, you want to make sure that you use a natural body scrub. You can make one out of sugar or salt, add a little bit of oil in there, whatever consistency you like. I'll try to put a recipe on my website, www.edensbalance.com, so you can try that. But remember, when you are getting rid of the things that you don't want, you want to go in a counterclockwise direction. And when you are bringing the changes to you that you do want, you want to go in a clockwise direction. So I hope,
And try to stay natural products.
Don't try to. Always read your labels and always go natural, or understand that you're going to be putting toxins in your skin.
Right.
Which is fine, as long as you're aware.
Yeah, be mindful.
Right.
Yeah, know what you're doing. So.
Right.
All right, that was great. Please, use the homework and treat yourself lovely.
Yeah, definitely. And check us out next week, Sunday, 6 o'clock. We're going to have an awesome guest. I'm going to have my chiropractor on from my pregnancy.
Beautiful.
And she's like the leading baby pregnancy mommy chiropractor in the area. So I'm excited to talk to her next week.
That's another good tip, that we can go into next time.
Yeah,
how
definitely.
important.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more mommy stuff because it's Mommy Month in May.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, we hope you'll be back with us next week. We hope you have a great week.
Yeah.
And love and light, all that good stuff. Wholeness and balance.
Happy Mother's Day again, and
yes.
Just have a beautiful week and enjoy.
Right.
Much love.